All right, so I talked to this overweight lady at the dispensary, and I explained to her that we are going to do a guitar lesson where I'm intending to open a student's mind, and I literally
my ass.
Yeah, well, your ass too, but she told me that I definitely need something with CBG.
Whoa.
Did you ever hear of CBG?
No.
Okay, well, she said these are the things. They're childproof though, so it's gonna be a little difficult. I don't know if this is working. Oh, hey guys, yeah, it's working. All right, so we're gonna do a guitar lesson. This live stream will not stay up. We're gonna edit it and get some stuff out of it. Okay, this says squeeze. All right, we get to squeeze. All right, is 10 too extreme?
It's up to you.
Should we do 5 or 10? What are you feeling? How much
10.
do you want to learn?
Let's go 10.
All right.
I want to learn a lot.
All right. Let's learn a lot. Cool. See you guys. It's so good. Oh. Shit, I'm intermittent fasting. Did I just break my fast?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's all downhill from here.
That sucks. All right. Are people getting... Cool. So we gotta like minimize these windows because we're not gonna be able to concentrate if we look at ourselves. The whole point of this is to actually have a guitar lesson and not be so self-conscious. I don't think this is a good idea. All right. You feeling it?
Yeah.
It's weird like to be in this kind of like public format with the camera and then like switch to this like thing, but we're gonna have to figure out a way to like not like perform, right? To actually like try to like do this guitar lesson thing.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a learning curve.
I don't think we've ever sat this close before.
That's true too, and we've never faced each other really.
Ever.
No, but it's good. Okay, what do you think like being a good student means? Like what's or I should ask you a different thing. How have you failed at being like a good student before? Like what do you think the things in like the way you approach guitar lessons are like what are the flaws in those?
Ooh, I'd say probably not coming like prepared enough with like questions and that sort of thing, not being introspective enough, because sometimes like I know like when I've taught, like it's really annoying when like a student's just like, I don't know, make me better.
Yeah, when people come to you sort of limp, you know what I mean, with like with nothing they want that's defined from it. I think that's one thing. I would say, I've taught you for a long time. This is a wonderful like thing because, like I've told you this before, but when my biggest problem with students is that they pay me. And I'm afraid that they will stop paying me. Like there's a part in my brain that's like in survival mode, and just that the fact that there's like a monetary kind of transaction between like, you and me for the time makes me even like unconsciously want to keep you there and want to avoid telling you some harsh things. Like, I said like I'm gonna rip into you. I'm not gonna rip into you. I'm just gonna tell you the truth.
Yeah.
The truth's gonna rip into you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like hopefully. That's why like, that's the only reason to do that. But yeah, for me as a teacher, I find like that's something like that throws me off my game when I'm like, ooh, like I can open this can of worms right now, but they're not gonna like it. It's not gonna feel good, and they're gonna like not want to continue. So that makes me not want to confront like the biggest problems. I would say in my experience with students, two of the two of the most growth hindering things I see is, like, I like to call them sort of LARPers and Worms. And they're both really big problems. Being a LARPer is a really big problem. That was my problem as a student, you know. And being a worm is a much bigger problem. Like a LARPer is somebody who pretends they understand, right? It's like they come with the posture, right? For people who don't know what like LARP, it's like live action role playing. I know you know.
Yeah, we met at a Renaissance fair.
Funny story. I can't tell, but yeah. My wife's cousin is dating a guy she met at a Renaissance fair,
really?
who's like a professional. He showed up with like these fucking like goggles, like steampunk goggles, and like arm leather bracelets. I'm like, oh yeah, this girl's she's on an adventure right now.
Yeah. Share a turkey leg from both ends.
Exactly. But
LARPers, yeah.
My problem, I remember I had one really good college professor that used to just cut me down. Like, that was our whole time, like in Berkeley, like this guy would just rip into me because he saw that I was like in this place of pretending I know how to do, like, it's not even that I pretend to know how to do things. I approach the teacher like I'm trying to impress him. Right? Or I'm trying to like immediately crystallize the information or the knowledge given to me and shoot it back. Be like, is this good? Yeah. It's like, am I good now? Like, you know, a minute has passed. Like, oh, I got it. You know, It's like you see that a lot. It's like, oh, I understand this, and it's just like, love me. You know?
Yeah.
But like, for me with students, it's like I'm perfectly aware that like there is nothing they can do in this hour that's going to change my opinion of them to like, oh my God, you're Wes Montgomery now. How'd you do that? You know, it's all ridiculous shit, but we all do it. And that's, for me, I see it now looking back. That's what I was doing. That was really a waste of energy because I was there to get better and my teacher was there to help me get better. It was 100% about my growth. And I sort of turned it around to be like, so, you know, his approval, right? Mm-hmm. Or like to make an impression, to do this. So that's a character flaw with me. The other thing that's more severe that I didn't have, but I see people have, is sort of the worm situation. And like when you see worms, spineless people, you know, they show up, but they don't bring themselves into it, right? It's like it's a protective mechanism. They feel so bad about the way they play, the way they sound, the choices they make, that they don't actually show up, right? Mm-hmm. They're like empty receptacles. Like they hope that like you throw up information into them and that somehow later on they'll collect the pieces and put something together, but they refuse to actually attend the meeting. And I think like a good lesson, and which I didn't have many of in my life, you know, it's possible to get better without having lessons, but you know, ideally, you would want to meet somebody somewhere and work on some shit. Just like in the moment, you know, like just, okay, I don't know this chord. Well, what can we do, right? It's like, how can we like map that out on the guitar a little bit? So I think it's just important to define like what I think is a successful interaction between people. You know, it's like you need to be at a place where you have enough confidence, not in your playing, but just like to present your playing, right? It's like you need to actually be present and actually like, you know, try to play the way you play and treat that as kind of like the ground that we're trying to build on, right? And if you don't do that, then it's really impossible to have a good lesson, a good interaction about it. But if you sort of turn it to be like, oh, check this out, like, you know, then it's also not gonna work, right? Yeah. So long spiel, but yeah, let's play something. What do you want to work on?
What, like concept-wise or tune-wise?
What is your goal? What are you trying to get better at currently in your life? Like what if you know what it's but that's like what where do you see yourself in 1 year playing wise? Like what are the things you want to accomplish?
I think in general, like I have working on that confidence of like presenting the playing, you know, because there is like a sort of there's a sort of gall to like playing for somebody you're playing in front of people, or at least that's how it feels to me. That's like definitely a bit of a struggle. So nerves are a big thing with that, as well as just like picking. I'd like to, you know, be more competent picking, as well as you know, not have the temptation just to play constant eighth notes all the time. Have better phrasing, have better you know, where you're talking about melodies that are more like singing and
so a lot of shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's. I'm not coming to you redeemed.
Yeah. Good. That's good. First of all, you're a Viking, right? You're like, what, like 7'5"?
Oh yeah.
What's your height?
I am 5'11".
But for real.
Like 6'5".
6'5".
Yeah.
You gotta there's something about like, you know, you gotta like play like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta like use the towering presence of your, like when I'm talking about showing up with your playing, it's sort of like showing up with like the reality of yourself in the situation. You know what I mean? Like you are you got to almost have an external perspective. Like to build confidence, it's not like we're not talking about overconfidence. It's not like, you know, Andrew Tate, like smoke a fucking cigar, take your shirt off, you know, talk about fucking bitches and driving Lamborghinis. That's not the idea. It's just sort of, you know, being comfortable with people seeing you, Nick, you know, playing a solo and feeling like sort of the confidence that you can take people from point A to point B in like time in the story in a way that, you know, has some value, right? And I think that comes A with time and B with just, you know, addressing sort of you address all the problems that show up in your playing one by one and fix little things until you've fixed enough to where you're sort of like, you can take a breath, like, okay, I'm not gonna hit any flat nines on major 7 chords, right? It's like that's been addressed, right? I'm not playing an endless stream of eighth notes. That's been addressed, right? It's like there's this monumental flaws that people can have in their playing. You just kind of, you know, shoot them one by one. So yeah, okay. So I think you're also in a really good place to be kind of an exemplary student because you're not happy with the way you sound soloing, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Do you listen? Do you listen back to yourself and like, I'm like excited ever?
Yeah, no? Done. Time to retire. No,
okay, so you're never happy.
Of course, never.
Yeah, I'm happy sometimes.
Whoa.
Yeah, sometimes I listen to my solo, I'm like, that was fucking badass. Or sometimes when I'm playing, I'm like, really feeling it, you know? I think that's a really good place to get to.
Yeah.
But we're not it's not the kind of lesson where I'm like, here's an A minor arpeggio. So you know harmony, you know all the things. It's more of like putting it together and confronting sort of the choice making and what works and what doesn't work. All right, let's play something.